One astronomical unit is the average distance between Earth and the Sun. 1 Newton is equal to 1 kg meters per second square. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. The SI unit of acceleration is meters per second square. Ohm is the SI unit of resistance. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 power 6 joules. Potential is measured in joules per coulomb. Angular momentum has the same dimensions as that of Planck's constant h. Work and energy have same units. Rate of change of momentum of a body is equal to the resultant force. The SI unit of mechanical power is watt. Pressure is equal to force by area. A car undergoes a uniform circular motion. The acceleration of the car is a non-zero constant. The direction of acceleration in uniform circular motion is along the direction of perpendicular to velocity. The energy possessed by a body due to its change in position or shape is called potential energy. In hydroelectric power station, ultimately which energy is converted into electrical energy? Kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy. The momentum of particle having mass m is p. Its kinetic energy will be p square by 2m. Magnetic, electrostatic and gravitational forces come under the category of non-contact forces. When the velocity of a body is doubled, its momentum is also doubled. A bus is moving along a straight path and takes a sharp turn to the right side suddenly. The passenger sitting in the bus will bend towards left side. A body is undergoing non-uniform circular motion. Work done by radial force on the body is 0. The linear momentum of a body is increased by 10%. What is the percentage increase in its kinetic energy? 21%. A negative work is done when an applied force F and the corresponding displacement S are anti-parallel to each other. SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. 1 horsepower is approximately equal to 746 watts. The dimension of gravitational constant is m power minus 1, L power 3 and T power minus 2. So m power minus 1, L power 3, T power minus 2 is the dimension of gravitational constant. The instrument used to measure pressure is aneroid barometer. When an object is dropped from a height onto the floor, its acceleration remains uniform as it falls. When the milk is churned vigorously, the cream from it is separated due to centrifugal force. Momentum is measured as the product of mass and velocity. So momentum is product of mass and velocity. Definition of force comes from Newton's first law of motion. Frictional force is not a conservative force. Electric force, gravitational force, and spring force are conservative forces. The value of pi is first calculated by Aryabhat. What is the point on the lever which does not move? It is fulcrum. A mass m is dragged by a pulley on a horizontal plane by a force anti-parallel to its displacement. The work done in pulling the mass m is negative. A uniform motion of a car along a circular path experiences a change in velocity due to a change in its direction of motion. Fundamental laws of physics require conservation of energy, momentum, and charge. Size of universe is of the order of 10 power 26 meters. Classical physics does not include subjects like elementary particles. Einstein was awarded Nobel Prize in Physics for photoelectricity. Who made these remarks? Time is what a clock reads. It is by Einstein. Weber is the derived unit of magnetic flux. Fundamental unit of luminous intensity is candela. The prefix femto stands for 10 power minus 15. Number of basic SI units is 7. Liter is not a fundamental unit. Light year is unit of distance. 1 light year is approximately equal to 10 power 16 meters. Ampere is the unit of current electricity. The SI unit of pressure is Pascal. Decibel is the unit of intensity of sound. What is the SI unit of electric charge? Coulomb. Once a satellite has been launched into orbit, the only force governing its motion is the force of gravity. If two satellites of different masses are revolving in the same orbit, they have same speed and time period. If the radius of Earth were to increase by 1%, its mass remaining the same, the acceleration due to gravity on the surface of Earth will decrease by 2%. Centripetal force is responsible to keep the body moving along the circular path. If two satellites of different masses are revolving in the same orbit, then they have same speed and time period. Soap bubble attains spherical shape due to surface tension. The spring constant of a spring depends on its thickness, its diameter, and its material. The length of second's pendulum on surface of the moon, where g is 1/6 of the value of g on surface of Earth, is 1/6 meters. The Young's modulus for perfectly rigid body is infinite. Steel is most elastic. Who among the following scientists discovered the law of flotation? It was discovered by Archimedes. A bird is sitting in a wire cage which is hanging from a spring balance. If the bird starts flying inside the cage, the reading of the spring balance will be less than earlier. Bernoulli's theorem is applicable to flow of liquids. Which of the following physicists explained the existence of buoyant force? Archimedes. If the linear momentum is increased by 50%, then its kinetic energy will be increased by 125%. When the kinetic energy of a body is increased by 300%, then the momentum of a body is increased by 100%. The moment of linear momentum is called angular momentum. Angular velocity of minute's hand of a clock in radians per second is pi by 1800. When a ball is thrown vertically upwards, which of the following quantities remains constant during its motion? Energy. Who was the first to experimentally determine the value of universal gravitational constant G? It was Henry Cavendish. The weight of an object is due to the force that it exerts on the ground. At which of the following place weight of an object is maximum? At poles. Satellite having the same orbital period as the period of rotation of Earth about its own axis is known as geostationary satellite. For a perfectly elastic collision and a perfectly inelastic collision, the values of coefficient of restitution are respectively 1 and 0. The pressure of a fluid varies with depth h as P is equal to P0 plus rho gh, where rho is fluid intensity. Kilowatt is a unit used to measure power. Light year is a measurement of stellar distances. Very small time intervals can be accurately measured by atomic clocks. Soaps clean surfaces on the principle based on surface tension. The velocity of wind is measured by anemometer. Which type of molecular motion does not contribute towards internal energy? Translational energy does not contribute. The sliding friction is smaller than the static friction. Earliest thermometer was developed by Galileo. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. The correct value of 0 degrees centigrade on Kelvin scale is 273.15 K. The temperature at which both the Fahrenheit and centigrade scales have same value is minus 40 degrees. Gas thermometers are more sensitive than the liquid thermometers because the gases have low specific heat. The absolute zero on Celsius scale is minus 273.15 degrees centigrade. The absolute zero is a temperature at which molecular motion in a gas would cease. Who invented the centigrade scale? Anders Celsius. The temperature of a place on one sunny day is 113 in Fahrenheit scale. The Kelvin scale reading of this temperature will be 318 Kelvin. Buoyancy is an upward force. The velocity of raindrop attains constant value because viscous force exerted by air. A liquid drop attains spherical shape due to surface tension. The principle involved in the absorption of water by soil is capillary action. Insects can move on the surface of water without sinking due to surface tension of water. When a ball bounces off the ground, which of the following changes suddenly? Its momentum. With increase in temperature, the viscosity of gases increases and liquids decreases. Fat can be separated from milk in a cream separator because of centrifugal force. While ascending a hill, the driver of the vehicle keeps the gear ratio either equal to or greater than 1. The process of combining strings is known as concatenation. A pressure cooker cooks food faster by water by increasing the boiling point of water. The unit of Planck's constant is Js. Boiling water can extinguish fire more quickly. Thermal expansion makes the Eiffel Tower taller during summers. Rate of evaporation increases with an increase in surface area. Exothermic reaction is a reaction in which heat is released. The first law of thermodynamics is concerned with the conservation of energy. At what temperature the density of water is maximum? At 4 degrees centigrade. What is called the process of converging gas into liquid? Condensation. Water boils at a lower temperature at high altitudes because the air pressure is less. When water is heated from 0 degrees centigrade to 4 degrees centigrade, its density increases. Thermoflask prevents heat loss by radiation, conduction, and convection. The clouds float in the atmosphere because of their low density. When water is heated from 0 degree centigrade to 10 degrees centigrade, its volume first decreases and then increases. Mercury thermometers can be used to measure temperature up to 360 degrees centigrade. Who among the following scientists invented the mercury thermometer? D.G. Fahrenheit. D.G. Fahrenheit invented the first mercury thermometer. The normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees centigrade. A non-volatile solid is added to water. Its boiling point will increase. Which one of the following is the lowest possible temperature? Minus 273 degrees Celsius. When compared to 0 degrees Celsius, minus 073 Celsius, minus 173 degrees Celsius. What is an endothermic reaction? Reaction in which heat is absorbed. What is the process of conversion of solid state directly to gaseous state? Sublimation. During summer, water kept in an earthen pot becomes cool because of the phenomenon of evaporation. A liquid initially contracts when cooled down to 4 degrees centigrade, but on further cooling down to 0 degrees centigrade, it expands. The liquid is water. Evaporation from the surface of a given liquid takes place more rapidly when the temperature is high and the surface of the liquid is large. The correct relationship between Kelvin temperature and the Celsius temperature is Kelvin temperature is equal to Celsius temperature plus 273.15. Evaporation from the surface of given liquid takes place more rapidly when temperature is high and surface area of liquid is large. The amplitude of sound waves is measured in the units of pressure. Instrument used to study the behavior of a vibrating string is sonometer. Pitch of sound depends on frequency. Which one of the following does TV remote control unit use to operate a TV set? Radio waves. Which one of the following types is used by computed tomography employed for visualization of the internal structure of human body? X-rays. Crookes glass can cut ultraviolet rays. Ultrasonic sounds are sounds which have frequencies higher than 20 kHz. Reverberation is a phenomenon associated with multiple reflection of sound. A wave undergoes reflection from a rigid boundary. One of its characteristic parameters that changes is phase. Beats is a phenomenon that occurs when frequencies of two harmonic waves are nearly same. The quality of musical note depends upon its harmonic content. The wavelength of X-rays is of the order of 1 angstrom. The wavelengths of radiations are in the order of infrared rays greater than, green rays greater than, UV rays greater than hot X-rays. The echo will be heard if the original sound reflected by an obstacle is 0.1 seconds. Sonar is a device that is used to measure the distance of underwater objects by a ship. Which of the following types of waves does it use for this purpose? Ultrasonic waves. Which one of the following wavelengths corresponds to wavelength of X-rays? 1 nanometer. Which are the relevant waves in telecommunication? Microwaves. X-rays absorption will be maximum for the sheets of lead. Which one of the following is not electromagnetic in nature? Cathode rays. Microwaves are used in oven. Cosmic rays has highest frequency. Infrared rays has the longest wavelength. X-rays were discovered by Roentgen. The quality of musical note depends upon its harmonic content. Name the law in which physics states that equal volume of all gases under the same conditions of temperature and pressure contain equal number of molecules. Avogadro's law. The energy that can harness heat stored below the Earth's surface is known as geothermal energy. The two specific heats of gases are related by Cp minus Cv is equal to Rj. Ice is packed in sawdust because sawdust is poor conductor of heat. The lowest temperature is recorded by alcohol thermometer. Which one of the thermometers is known as pyrometer? Radiation thermometers. The pressure exerted by 760 nanometer column of mercury at 0 degree centigrade is known as 1 bar. Which of the following is the example of ideal black body? A pinhole box. Distance between two successive consecutive crests is lambda. Distance between a compression and adjoining rarefaction in pressure wave is lambda by 2. The changes in pressure and volume of air when sound wave passes through air is adiabatic. The time period of 1 meter long pendulum appropriates to 2 seconds. Sound travels fastest in Steel. The lowest temperature is recorded by alcohol thermometer. A barometer is used to measure atmospheric pressure. At upper atmosphere, an astronaut feels extremely cool. The sun heats the earth to radiation. An instrument used to measure humidity is hygrometer. Water is used in hot water baths because it has high specific heat. White cloths are cooler than black ones because they reflect all the light that reaches them. The best conductor of heat among the following is mercury. Cloths keep us warm in winter because they prevent the heat of the body from escaping. Which law of cooling holds for really large temperature differences? Stephen-Boltzmann law. A gas thermometer is more sensitive than liquid thermometer because a gas expands more than a liquid. Clear nights are colder than cloudy nights because it is because of radiation. Which one of the following pairs of metals are very good conductors of heat? Silver and copper. What is the principle by which a cooling system in a motor car works? By the principle of convection. A radar beam consists of microwaves. The ratio of speed of X-rays to that of gamma rays is 1. Ultraviolet light of sun's radiation is prevented from reaching the Earth's atmosphere by the layer of ozone. The waves used in sonography are ultrasonic waves. Light waves can be polarized. Cosmic waves are charged particles. Decibel is the unit used for measuring intensity of sound. Shrillness of sound is determined by wavelength of sound. Which of the following property of sound is affected by change in air temperature? Wavelength. The intensity ratio of waves is 25:9. What is the ratio of their amplitudes? 5:3. The velocity of sound in moist air is more than in dry air because the moist air has less density than dry air. Before playing the orchestra in musical concert, a sitarist tries to adjust the tension and plug the string suitably. By doing so, he or she is adjusting frequency of the sitar string with the frequency of other musical instruments. The device used to produce electric current is known as generator. A stationary charge produces an electric field only. Manganese is the material commonly used for making coils of a resistance box. Carbon has negative temperature coefficient. Kirchhoff's first law, that is, sigma I is equal to 0 at a junction, deals with the conservation of charge. The instrument for the accurate measurement of EMF of a cell is potentiometer. A kilowatt hour is unit of energy. Which one of the following terms cannot represent electrical power in a circuit? I square by R. Watt-hour meter measures electrical energy. A heater coil is cut into two equal parts and only one part is now used in the heater. The heat generated will now be doubled. The DC generator works on the principle of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. When current flows through a conductor, heat is produced. This is called Joule effect. For a thermocouple, the thermo EMF may be 0 or positive or negative. In solar cell, the light energy is converted into electrical energy. Quality of musical note depends on harmonics present. There are two vocal cords in human voice box. Which of the following waves does not belong to category of other three among X-rays, microwaves, radio waves and sound waves? The answer is sound waves. Sound waves does not belong to category of other three. Static electricity is produced due to friction. What constitutes current in metal wire? Electrons. Most liquids that conduct electricity are solutions of acids, bases, and salts. The attribute cell spacing specifies the distance between two adjacent cells. When an ebonite rod is rubbed with fur, the charge acquired by the fur is positive. The resistivity of a material may be expressed in the units of ohm centimeters. Electric motors converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Electrolytic cells convert electrical energy into chemical energy. Fyodor Pirotsky invented electric tram. The device used to produce electric current is known as generator. Cosmic rays are charged particles. Tesla is a unit of magnetic induction. Weber per meter square is equal to Tesla. If a current is passed through a spring, then the spring will compress. The basic instrument employed to detect current is galvanometer. To convert a galvanometer into an ammeter, we connect low resistance in parallel. Which one of the following devices changes low voltage alternating current to high voltage alternating current and vice versa? Transformer. The dielectric constant of metals is infinite. Electric current is measured using which of the following instrument? Ammeter. Ohm's law is valid in case of conductor. Which of the following instruments can detect the presence of current in a circuit? Galvanometer. At which place Earth's magnetic field becomes horizontal? At magnetic equator. The device used to produce electric current is known as generator. A stationary charge produces an electric field only. Identify the material commonly used for making coils of a resistance box. Manganese. The reciprocal of resistance is conductance. Which of the following has negative temperature coefficient? Carbon. A kilowatt hour is a unit of energy. Watt hour meter measures electrical energy. For a thermocouple, the thermo EMF may be 0 or positive or negative. The basic instrument employed to detect current is galvanometer. Nichrome has low resistivity. Electric resistance is measured by voltmeter. The resistance of an ideal voltmeter is infinite. The resistance of ideal ammeter is 0. Which finger shows the direction of current in Fleming's left-hand rule? Middle finger. Voltmeter is connected in parallel in electric circuit. Who among the following is a pioneer in discovering the heating effect of electric current? James P. Joule. A galvanometer can be converted into voltmeter by connecting it with a high resistance in series. When a number of resistors are connected in series in a circuit, the value of current decreases. Keeping voltage constant, if more lamps are put up into a series circuit, the overall current in the circuit decreases. Filament of electric bulb is made of tungsten. A thermoelectric refrigerator works on Peltier effect. The electrolyte in the dry cell is ammonium chloride. The electrolyte in car battery is sulfuric acid. The coil of an electric heater is made of nichrome. In electric supply lines in India, which parameter is kept constant? Frequency. What is the maximum number of different electrical combinations possible with 3 equal resistances? 4. MHO is the unit of conductivity. Permanent magnet can be made from cobalt. MCB, which cuts off the electricity supply in case of short circuiting, works on the heating effect of current. Instrument used to store the electric charge is known as capacitor. Conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy occur in battery. A fuse wire is made of an alloy of tin and lead. A transformer works with alternating current. Fleming's right-hand rule is used to find the direction of induced current. Who invented the battery? Volta. Liquids and gases never show ferromagnetic property. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction is related to the law of conservation of energy. The minimum and maximum values of power factor in an AC circuit are 0 and 1. In AC circuits, the AC meters measure RMS values. Voltmeter is connected in parallel in electric circuit. The SI unit of pole strength is AM. The vertical component of Earth's magnetic field is 0 at a place where angle of dip is 0 degrees. A fuse wire is characterized by high resistance and low melting point. The presence of magnetic field can be determined using which one of the following instruments? Magnetic needle. Alternate current can be measured by hot wire ammeter. At the time of short circuit, the current in the circuit increases heavily. A circuit has a fuse having a rating of 5 amperes. What is the maximum number of 100 watt to 220 volt bulbs that can be safely connected in parallel in circuit? 11. A 100 watt electric bulb is used for 10 hours a day. How many units of energy are consumed in 30 days? 30 units of energy. Fluorescent tubes are fitted with a choke. The choke coil reduces current in the circuit. What is the order of magnitude of electric resistance of human body? 10 power 6 ohm. Which one of the following is printed on commonly used fluorescent tube light? 6500K. Which one of the following non-metals is not a poor conductor of electricity among sulfur, selenium, bromine, phosphorus? So the correct answer is selenium. Filament of electric bulb is made of tungsten. The frequency of alternating current is 3 Hz. It implies that there are 3 cycles per second. Cyclotron is a device used to measure accelerate protons. The magnetic field lines inside a current carrying long solenoid are in the form of parallel straight lines. The line joining the points of horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is called magnetic meridian. The angle between the Earth's magnetic axis and Earth's geographic axis is 23 degrees. Earth's magnetic field always has a horizontal component except at poles. At magnetic poles, the angle of dip is 90 degrees. At the magnetic equator, the angle of dip is 0 degrees. So, the angle of dip at magnetic equator is 0 degrees, while at the magnetic poles it is 90 degrees. The magnetic field produced by a current carrying straight wire at a point outside the wire depends inversely on the distance from it. Which of the following is ferromagnetic? Nickel. Which of the following is paramagnetic? Antimony. In which type of material the magnetic susceptibility does not depend on temperature? In diamagnetic material. Which of the following is most suitable for the core of electromagnets? Soft iron. Which part of magnet has the least magnetic power? In the middle. Instrument used to store electric charge is known as capacitor. Hot wire ammeters are used for measuring only AC. If the speed of rotation of dynamo is doubled, then the induced EMF will become double. The device that does not work on the principle of mutual induction is motor. A motor starter is a variable resistance. A dynamo is sometimes said to generate electricity. It actually acts as a source of EMF. Velocity of light is maximum in vacuum. Which phenomena shows the particle nature of light? Photoelectric effect. Where should an object be placed in front of a convex lens to get a real and enlarged image of the object? In between the principal focus and twice the focal length. The diameter of reflecting surface of spherical mirror is called aperture. The focal length of plane mirror is infinity. A curved mirror where the reflecting surface is curved inwards is called concave mirror. Which of the following statements about aperture of convex lens is correct? It is independent of its radius of curvature. Which of the following is employed to clearly view objects which cannot be seen directly due to obstruction? Periscope. Radio wave has longest wave. Which of the following has minimum wavelength? Gamma rays. Which of the following are not electromagnetic waves? Beta rays. Red light differs from blue light in its frequency. Infrared radiations are detected by pyrometer. Ozone layer is present in stratosphere. What is the cause of greenhouse effect? Infrared rays. Velocity of light is maximum in vacuum. Total internal reflection takes place when light travels from water to air. The critical angle of light passing from glass to air is minimum for violet. A plain glass slab is kept over various colored letters. The letter which appears least raised is red. The blue color of the sky is due to the phenomena of scattering. Twinkling of stars is due to atmospheric refraction of starlight. At sunrise or sunset, the sun looks more red than at midday because of the scattering of light. How many internal reflections of light takes place in the formation of primary rainbow? 1. The final image produced by simple microscope is virtual and erect. Which of the following color of light deviates least through the prism? Red. Which of the following are primary colors of light? Blue, red, and green. Which one of the following colors may be obtained by combining green and red colors? Yellow. Mirage is an illustration of both refraction and total internal reflection of light. Microscope was invented by Zacharias Janssen. Twinkling of stars is primarily due to atmospheric refraction. The diameter of the reflecting surface of a spherical mirror is called an aperture. The focal length of plane mirror is infinity. A curved mirror where the reflecting surface is curved inwards is called concave mirror. Which one of the following statements about the aperture of convex lens is correct? It is independent of its radius of curvature. Which of the following is employed to clearly view objects which cannot be seen directly due to obstruction? Periscope. The image formed on the retina of human eye is real and inverted. The mercury and sodium street lamps light up because of electron emission. An air bubble in water will act like concave lens. When a mirror is rotated by an angle of theta, the reflected ray will rotate by 2 theta. Spherical mirror formula relating an object distance u, image distance v, and focal length of mirror f may be applied to a plane mirror when focal length goes to infinity. Myopia is a defect in human vision where an image of a distant object is focused before the retina. The side mirrors of vehicles are concave mirrors. The focal length of plane mirror is infinity. An object is placed between two parallel plane mirrors. The number of images formed is infinity. The image we see in plane mirror is virtual, same size, and is laterally inverted. When light passes from one medium to another, the physical quantity that remains unchanged is frequency. A ray of light traveling from rarer medium to denser medium slows down and bends towards the normal. Refraction of light as it enters from one transparent medium to another is due to change in speed of light. The refractive index of a given piece of transparent quartz is greatest for violet light. If a ray of light enters from rarer medium to denser medium at zero angle of incidence, it would go straight. What is the phenomenon behind image that you see in your bathroom mirror? Specular reflection. If an object is placed at the focus of convex lens, its image is at infinity. If the power of corrective lens is plus 2.0 d, then it is a convex lens. Infrared radiations are detected by pyrometer. A curved mirror where the reflecting surface is curved inwards is called concave mirror. The chemical part of the dye that absorbs light and produces color is called pigment. Panchromatic photographic film is sensitive to the entire region of visible spectrum. Cambert's law is related to illumination. Electron microscope was invented by Knoll and Ruska. In which part of the eye lies the pigment that decides the color of eyes of a person? Choroid. The phenomena of splitting white light into 7 colors is called dispersion. Diopter is the unit of power of lens. Who discovered the color photography? James Clerk Maxwell. Which color is formed when blue and green are mixed? Cyan. Bats detect obstacles in their path by receiving the reflected ultrasonic waves. In optical instruments, the lenses are used to form image by the phenomena of refraction. Large number of thin strips of black paint are made on the surface of convex lens of focal length 20 cm to catch the image of white horse. The image will be a horse of less brightness. A ray of white light strikes the surface of an object. If all colors are reflected, the surface would appear white. A reflecting telescope utilizes a concave mirror. When the length of a microscope tube is increased, its magnifying power increases. Diffusion of light in the atmosphere takes place due to dust particles. Which of the following types of light are strongly absorbed by plants? Blue and red. Cylindrical lens is used by persons suffering from astigmatism. Cornea in human eye is a light-sensitive screen. Why is red light employed for danger signals? Red light is scattered least. Whose experiments proved that the speed of light was always the same? Michelson and Marley. How many images can a man see if he stands between two plane mirrors inclined at an angle of 60 degrees? 5 images. Which one of the following phenomena cannot be attributed to the refraction of light? Redshift. To an observer on the lunar surface, during the daytime, the sky will appear to be black. Light waves are incident on air-glass boundary. Some of the light waves are reflected and some are refracted in the glass. Which one of the following properties is same for incident wave and refracted wave? Frequency. Optical fibers are mainly used for communication. Which of the following has highest velocity? Light. The color of stars depend upon their temperature. Which famous scientist was the first to look at the night sky through a telescope? Galileo. A plant with green leaves placed in red light will appear black. When light is scattered by a molecule and the frequency of scattered light is changed, this phenomenon is called Raman effect. Huygens wave theory of light cannot explain photoelectric effect. Waves that cannot be polarized are longitudinal. Polarized light can be produced by scattering. The unit of Planck's constant is Js. Electron volt is a unit of energy. Which of the following phenomena exhibits particle nature of light? Photoelectric effect. The minimum energy required to remove an electron is called work function. Half-life of radioactive element depends upon nature of material. A radioactive element has half-life period 1600 years. After 6400 years, what amount will remain? 1/16. After a time equal to 5 half-lives, the amount of radioactive material remaining undecayed is 3%. What type of lens are used in movie projectors? Convex. The principle of light based on which shadow is formed is rectilinear propagation. A water tank appears shallower when it is viewed from top due to refraction. The primary colors in photography are red, blue, and green. The head mirror used by ENT doctors is concave mirror. A laser beam is always a parallel beam. Optical fiber works on the principle of total internal reflection. Radar is used to detect and locate distant objects. The colors of stars depend on their temperature. Rainbow is formed due to refraction and reflection. Light from the sun reaches upon in nearly 8 minutes. Golden view of seashell is due to polarization. Total internal reflection cannot take place when light goes from water to glass. Cambert's law is related to illumination. What type of lens are used in movie projectors? Convex lens. A positron has same mass as electron. The radioactive isotope used to study thyroid gland is iodine. Which of the following is used as moderator in nuclear reaction? Heavy water. Hydrogen bomb is based upon fusion. The energy released in a typical nuclear fusion reaction is approximately 24 mega electron volts. Energy generation in stars is mainly due to nuclear fusion. Digital signals do not provide a continuous set of values and it represents as discrete steps and utilize binary code system. As electromagnetic waves travel in free space, only attenuation can happen to them. Frequencies in the UHF range normally propagate by means of space waves. For television transmission, the frequency employed is normally in the range of 30 to 300 MHz. The electromagnetic waves used in telecommunication are microwaves. The number of geostationary satellites needed for uninterrupted global coverage is 3. 1 bell equals 10 decibels. LEDs fabricated from gallium arsenide emit radiations in visible region. The light emitting diode is usually made from gallium arsenide. Einstein was honored with Nobel Prize for photoelectric effect. Crompton effect is associated with X-rays. The first explosion of atomic device in India was carried out in the state of Rajasthan. The first nuclear explosion in 1974 in India was conducted at Pokhran. Gamma rays consist of electromagnetic waves. U235 belongs to which member of series? Actinium series. The conductivity of superconductor is infinite. Direct conversion of solar energy with the use of photovoltaic cell results in the production of electrical energy. Certain substances lose their electrical resistance completely at super low temperature. Such substances are called superconductors. Mesons are found in cosmic rays. Chernobyl nuclear plant, now decommissioned, is in Ukraine. X-rays can be used to detect defects in precious stones and diamonds. An intrinsic semiconductor at absolute zero temperature is perfect insulator. Talcher important for heavy water plant. The output from a laser is monochromatic. It means that it is single frequency. The size of atom is of the order of 10 power minus 10 meters. The ratio of atomic volume to nuclear volume is of the order of 10 power 15. Radioactivity was discovered by Henry Becquerel. The least penetrating power ray is alpha ray. Who discovered proton? Ernst Rutherford. The fuel used in nuclear power plants is U-235. Which of the following isotopes is normally fissionable? 235U-92. The most abundant isotope of natural uranium is 238U-92. Isotopes have same atomic number. Curie is unit of radioactivity. Enriched uranium is better as fuel for nuclear reactor because it has great proportion of U-235. The penetrating powers of alpha, beta and gamma radiations in decreasing order are gamma, beta, alpha. Radioactivity is measured by GM counter. Einstein's mass-energy relation is given by expression E equal to mc square. The strongest force in nature is nuclear force. Which of the particles has similar mass to that of electron? Positron. The mass-energy relation is the outcome of special theory of relativity. The fourth state of matter is known as plasma. The method of age determination called radioactive uranium dating cannot be used to determine the age of minerals of the earth. The phenomena of ejection of electrons from surface of metals when light of suitable wavelength falls on it is known as photoelectric effect. The substance used as moderator and coolant both in nuclear reactors is heavy water. When ultraviolet rays incident on metal plate, then photoelectric effect does not occur. It occurs by incidence of X-rays. God particle is Higgs boson. Which of the following was invented by Wilhelm Röntgen? X-ray mission. Photovoltaic cells are solar cells. Cathode rays travel in straight line and they have kinetic energy, and cathode rays produce fluorescence with certain substance. In nuclear reactors, moderators are used to slow down the neutrons. Matter waves are de Broglie waves. Photovoltaic cells are solar cells. The conductivity of superconductor is infinite. Who invented mobile phone? Merlin Cooper. Who among the following invented adding machine? Blaise Pascal. In MIRC, C stands for Center. MIRC means Medical Image Resource Center. At low temperature, lead behaves as insulator. In 1974, the first nuclear test of Pokhran was codenamed as Smiling Buddha. Where in India is first indigenously built atomic power plant located? Kalpakkam. Twin paradox is associated with the theory of relativity. The headquarters of Indian Institute of Astrophysics is located in Bengaluru. Who discovered Uranus? William Herschel. Name the planet that has a moon called Ganymede. Jupiter. Our solar system is a part of which galaxy? Milky Way. The frequency range of 300 kHz to 3000 kHz is known as medium frequency. The direction of rotation of CD is anti-clockwise. Ultraviolet rays has shortest wavelength. A typical example of semiconductor is germanium. The resistance of PN junction in forward bias is low. A diode can be used for rectification. A diode as a rectifier converts AC to DC. In a transistor, the base is an extrinsic semiconductor. In a p-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are holes. The unidirectional property of PN junction is useful for its use as a rectifier. Intensity of light is measured by photocell in forward bias. The waves relevant to telecommunications are microwave. When two semiconductors of P and N type are brought in contact, they form PN junction, which acts like rectifier. The method of communication in which transmission can take place in both directions but happens only in one direction at a time is called half duplex. Which of the following is not transducer? Amplifier. The frequency band used for radar relay systems and television is UHF. Modem is a device used for converting analog signals to digital signals. The waves relevant to telecommunications are microwave. Television broadcasting frequency employed is normally 30 to 300 MHz. Which one of the following waves is used for detecting forgery in currency notes? Ultraviolet waves. Which one among the following waves carries maximum energy per photon? X-rays. If germanium has to be doped with a donor impurity, the foreign atom should be pentavalent. When the temperature of semiconductor is increased, its electrical conductivity increases. Communication system may be electrical, electronic, or optical. Refractive index of ionosphere is less than 1. Amplifier is not a transducer. The space waves which are affected seriously by atmospheric conditions are UHF. Range of frequencies allotted for commercial FM radio broadcast is 88 to 108 MHz. Radio waves of constant amplitude can be generated with oscillator. In which frequency range space waves are normally propagated? UHF. Zener diode is used for stabilization. The expected energy of electron at absolute zero is called Fermi energy. In which of the following decays the atomic number decreases? In alpha decay. An alpha particle has charge to mass ratio equal to that of a deuteron. The scientist who first discovered that the earth revolves around the sun was Copernicus. How long does light take to reach the earth from sun? About 8 minutes. Which of the following planets of our solar system has least mass? Mercury. Which one of the following is the largest recognized constellation? Hydra. Which one of the following is brightest star in Orion constellation? Rigel. The constellation Saptarishi is known to Westerners as Big Dipper. Which one of these following stars is nearest to Sun? Proxima Centauri. Which one of the following regarding density of water at atmospheric pressure is correct? Density of water at 4 degrees centigrade is 1000 kg per meter cube. The acceleration due to gravity at Earth's surface depends on both its mass and radius. The term Higgs boson is associated with God particle. The word blood moon is used for lunar eclipse. Marie Curie discovered radium. Which of the following statements is true for simple harmonic oscillator? Force acting is directly proportional to the displacement from the mean position and is in opposite direction. Heavy water is used as moderator in nuclear reaction. Range of frequencies allotted for commercial FM radio broadcast is 88 to 108 MHz. Refractive index of ionosphere is less than 1.